welcome back. Here we are, becalmed, socked in by fog, but you wouldn't know because it's the middle of the night. It looks like there's a light out there, but there's honestly not. That's my torch. You can see the fog there in the beam of the torch. So we're just getting to the last batten now. I got a little bit of humble pie to eat. I still would go with what I said, which is that don't leave the lashings in the back of the batten pockets. But look here, I have resorted to, or perhaps learnt to, take the batten boxes off the front of the sail and then shove in the batten from the front, which is a lot. This is the batten here in black. Yeah. And it goes right up almost to the bow of the boat. This is a 60-foot boat, so it's a pretty long batten. This is a CT batten. I just had the let me just get in the light a little bit. I just got in the frightening situation of having to saw 38 centimeters, which is what, like, I don't know, 15 inches or something, off the back of a batten, which I've got the price for. It's €1,000 batten 10 years ago, 12 years ago. So I hope you got my measurements right, but I'm pretty sure it is because I'm following the plan and every other measurement's been fine, and so I'm pretty happy. But you see that I've got the sail tie here. This north sail tie. There's one here and there's one at the back as well. And that's pulling the batten pocket into tension, and then I'm going to shove the batten into the pocket. And I've got the closure at the end kind of loose, and I've learned from my mistake on the previous batten. Once it gets close, I got to go up there and just fiddle it exactly in a position, make sure there's enough loose so it can kind of come out the back of the pocket a little bit, and then get the batten box on this end, and then go up the other end and finish off the lashing. So it is a dog's dinner of a method of, no, it's not a dog's dinner of a method. The method is exactly what it's meant to be. It's a bad system. I like the fact you can pull the batten boxes off the front, but the closures at the other end are so complex that it should just be a case of shove the batten in, put the batten box in, go and close it. No, you got to do all this running backwards and forwards. I cannot believe there's still no wind. Like, this is the most happy I've ever been that there's no wind. But if you were actually trying to change a batten, you know, battens break, that's what happens, that's why we carry spares. If you were trying to change a batten in 20-30 knots off the breeze with this batten closure system on the back of this, like, yeah, go whistle for that. So I'm going to knock this batten in. We'll try and do something with the phone here so you can kind of be part of what's going on a little bit. I'm not sure can you see anything there? Maybe. Let's have a see. So in goes the batten. Oh. You've got to be very careful with this kind of job, is that these battens, once they're in the mainsail and the mainsail's flapping, it's got incredible leverage. You got 20 foot of batten in the sail, 3 foot of batten sticking out the end. That 3 foot is suddenly very, very powerful. Oh. These CT battens are a lot fatter than that 28mm stock we were using. And as we said before, this mainsail's been rolled up for 12 years. Like, all the batten pockets are as flat as flukes, so I'm going to need to move you out the way whilst I get a bit physical with this. But I'll get it in there and then we'll come back and see how it all finishes up. Here I am in the gloaming. Alright, so it's in. Actually, it didn't take that long, I gotta say. Like, this method of pushing it in from the opposite end is not that bad. I'm not sure what the lighting's gonna do now, so just bear with me. We're just off down the side of the boat here. Da, da, da. Okay, so here we go. So now we're at the back. This is L7 again. See how the batten's just coming. Can you see any of this? Yeah, you can. Okay. I think we need this setting. See how the batten is now poking out into the batten pocket, into the retainer area. So what we got to do is we got to help it through with the gerber, and we got to get everything lined up here before we do the final tension at the other end. So. Okay, and there we go. It's in now. Back in where it should be. The lashings are done, and we've got ourselves, you can barely see me, we got ourselves a sail, right? So once that is in there, that's the last of our battens. So now all we need to do is we need to get the mainsail hoisted, get the extra lashings on, finish the reef lines and get the clews on, and then drop it back in the bag. And the wind is starting to come, so I would love to stay and chat, but it's time to actually just get this done. So I'll check back in when it's done. And there we go. It's just about midnight and we're all done. So we started at 10 o'clock this morning, did we say? That's 14 hours work to get that done. So got the jib pulling now, or the solent as it's called on this boat, as it sits directly behind the genoa. And we've got, I don't know if you can even see the main. There, that little shadow there, just out to starboard of the radar. There, that thing. Yeah. 6 hours yesterday to get its brother down, and 14 hours today to get it up. So, with the rest and everything else, 24 hours work. I think though that if you were doing it and you had the battens already pre-cut, your gear was already on the sail, you knew the sail, knew the batten closure method, which I do now. I think you could probably shut that down to getting the other one off in 6 hours is about right. I think you could get this on in 6 to 8 hours maybe. So let's say 12 hours if you knew exactly what you're doing and you're totally becalmed. It's a 12-hour job for one person, and I don't work slowly. And I think 12 to 14 hours to change the mainsail on this boat. So with 2 people, 3 hours off, 4 hours on, 7 hours plays 5, yeah, no, 7 hours plays 14 hours. So there's the difference between double-handed and single-handed. Right. I am going to go and have something to eat because I have only eaten a mouthful of brownies, a cup of coffee. Now the good thing was I was very smart this morning and I had a 3-layer bacon sandwich with dairy lee or whatever it's called spread on the bread. So that's got me through a lot of the day. But it's time for something to eat and a pat on the back. And I might put a video on. We're still almost becalmed. We've got the sails up now and we're doing 4 knots. I've got second reef in on the main. If it was daytime, I'd go to first reef, which is available. I've made it so I can actually go to first reef if I want to. I got second reef in now. It's not because I'm nervous about like I reef at night or anything, but I have not seen this sail up at all. I can't see it with my torch. I can't see all the way up it. You could have a bloody great rip in it for all I know. So I'm just going cautiously now. I don't think it's got a big rip in it. I would have probably seen that on the way up, but you know what I'm saying, like I haven't seen it at all. I've jibed the boat twice, so I know the backstays are all clear. Checked through the reefing lines. I've tied it up on deck now. I'll put some ties on the staysail here so that it's good for the night. Retention halyards. I've lashed down the mainsail bag, which has come off the other mainsail. It's going to sit there, and the way this boat goes to weather, we're not going to be heeling that much. So what I've done though is it's kind of doubled over on itself, right? In fact, it's like quartered, and see there's a line that wraps through the middle of that bend, right where everything doubles over, and then ties off forward. It redirects around the bottom of that stanchion, and then it ties off onto the carbon rail there. And that's because any big forces of water which are coming washing down the deck, if it's got that one line still on it, it'll be fine. It all goes wrong when you've got it just tied like 2 in the middle, and then it gets that loading on the front and it starts to peel up from its lashings. It peels itself off the deck and you've lost it or you've damaged the boat or whatever. But that one line, and it is actually fine. You won't lose it that way. So cockpit's tidy, not that you can see it with, we need to sort this out so we can get some lights at the back so you can see stuff back there. So I'm going to turn the engine off. I'm sure it's nice and warm inside now, and relax. So that is how you change the open 60 mainsail in the middle of the Atlantic. And I'm all done here, I think. Thanks for watching. It's been great to be able to share some of this with you guys, and likes and comments, of course, and start to get a little bit of a dialogue going. I'm happy to answer questions, and I'm definitely happy to learn if people have got other ways of doing things. But this is what this life's like out here. These are the first little steps for this boat getting back on the water. We're taking it gently, we're learning what we're doing, but every part of it is exactly what this is about. You've got to problem solve. We're not curing cancer out here, but like all other problems in the world, we start with problems. We've just got ourselves, we've got a few resources, we've got some time, we make a situation so we can do the job, and then we get along and we do it, right? So there's a lot to transfer out of this to other aspects of life. So well, it's the morning after, the night before, and the fruits of our labors are clearly evident. Still got second reef in because, again, whatever the weather conditions, we are being very careful on this older backstay rigging and older cap shroud rigging. Not a problem. I know exactly why I'm doing it, but I can see what's happening here, and we've got ourselves a fantastic mainsail. Firstly, it hasn't got all the mold on it and all the bits hanging off it that the other one had, so brilliant. This is from 2004, this sail, and that's 14 years ago. So that right there is everybody rush out and buy carbon fiber immediately. It lasts forever. The sail, like interacting with the sail and spending a lot of time with it in my hands and on the deck yesterday, I can tell you that at the end of time there will just be cockroaches, Keith Richards, and this sail. This thing is indestructible. So weather conditions at the moment, the wind's literally piped up in the last half an hour. Is that dolphins again? What is it with this boat? Oh my God, dolphins everywhere. The wind's piped up in literally the last half hour. It's due to come up from the southwest, which is a bit irritating because that's exactly where we want to go. But we can hold a very close hauled course with this kind of boat. We're sailing at about 35 apparent wind angle. So flying our way along at 5 knots here, doing very nicely. And you couldn't have done this with just the head sails. So becalmed yesterday, could have been a hassle, a problem, a real issue that was something that could have got us down, but we turned it around. Yes, we did. Was it 14 or 16 hours work, whatever it was? But what else was I going to do? Sit here and scratch my head. So for every mile or two that we put on here now in the right direction, because we are driving 245, which is actually 5 degrees higher, of course. So that is, to me, awesome. We could not have done this with the configuration we had 24 hours ago. Now we've got this going on. We're sailing along. We've got a little bit of a wake here. And yeah, it's 5 knots. It's not gonna, not gonna set the world on fire, but it's 5 knots that we couldn't have done if we hadn't worked, if we hadn't labored. So right there, it was worth it. I had a 4-hour sleep session, which doesn't mean that I was asleep 4 hours. It means that I was on and off sleeping for 4 hours. So yeah, I'm gonna have a cup of coffee now, have something to eat. I got some ravioli last night, which was very nice, but got a little bit of muesli on the go here, French style. So of course it's got chocolate in it, which never say no to that. And yeah, I think brilliant success, all of that, brilliant success.